Okay, today we're going to do challenge number 17. This is a bit more challenging one. We're going to do a batch macro on some of the process. What we try to calculate is retention rate of a certain period. So for example, it's quite a bit to read. For example, one of the months, June 2013, we pick, you have a ratio you want to calculate. For the ratio, the denominator will be the 24 months prior to the start of the month. Then the numerator will be all the accounts closed from the reference date to the end of that month. We're going to do this for May, June, July, August. In general, once you build up your batch map, you can do any period you want. But the first thing is let's build a basic workflow first. The first thing is we can do is to change the open start date. I think it's metadata string. We're going to change those into individual dates, so we can do some kind of date calculation on it. Final results is some kind of close, some ratio we're going to calculate. Now, to do this, let's probably do it both ways. The first thing, we can use data tool, probably the easier choice. We pick open date, let's say open date clean. We have the month, day, and year. So we have a month, day, comma, year. Let's just run it. So we have the dates, then we can do the second date to time. You can do both in a single formula, or sometimes you just want to make a quick calculation. You don't mind too many tools. Uh, this is fun. Ooh, what do I type this? Code state clean. So looking for months, day, year. So the two fields we have to calculate, and that's fun. I think if we look at the answer, we have a start month, the single column. We try to handle that. We can just use a regular text input, but let's make things a bit more robust. Initial, we can use a generator row. You can see the input anchor is gray, so it's not compulsory, it's optional anchor. We're going to create a new field. We're going to create a date field. So what did it call it? Is it called a start of the month in there? Start of month. In initial, we're going to create a day, so we can execute it. Because it's a string, so you need to wrap a to date field on. Did I do two codes? Probably not. We start with 2013 0501. You could try to create a different data input, and then help you to generate to all the thing to the end. The condition we're looking for, actually, yeah, try to make as general dynamic as possible. Let me just call that just start, and so 2013 0, you want to May 01, you want end, you want to finish August 2013 0801. So in practice, you may just have one input, so people can just change those two values rather than affect other tools within the dataset. Text input, I think by default, I will try to cast whatever the most suitable format. If I type it's a date, yeah, they read as a date. So just make sure it's clean format, it's okay. Start a month, we initialize, we can click on the three dots, what we're looking for, it's already a date, so we start on this date. What's the condition? The condition is the new field less equals the end date. Formula in the bottom, you can click. Oh, probably have my screen blocked. On the bottom left, you will be able to see there's option formula. What you intended to do, you want to say it's a datetime add. So every time you want to generate additional months, datetime add. We're going to add on our variable, start of months. What's the interval? We want one. What's the unit? Months. Okay, so that should set the iteration condition up, continue to generate additional rows. So we can see the output for the three column. When the number of rows is small, text input does the job. But if say you have a lot, you want to generate your retention calculates through for 2 years data, 5 years data, or even at retention rate at a weekly level, you may not want to use text input. Generate rows is very useful to help you out. So that's done. Now, of course, to make life easier, rather than to create a batch, let's just do one single field first. What we did, we're looking for calculate 2 period. So, for example, we pick May. We're looking for 24 months back gap for the denominator. Sorry, with the denominator calculation is 24 months back. Total number of queries, we made the numerator. Yeah, let's do the denominator. That I would probably go for formula. Let's give some names to the things. You can call it denominator, numerator. I will probably just use that. Basically, the top and the bottom. Normally. In the particular working, you probably have a different specific terminology for it. Let's call the denominator start. The start date will be wherever you started the reference start month. Data add. So we're looking for the start month. We're going to go back for 24 months. So it's going to be minus 24. Unit is months. So we're looking for, we're going to look for the date field. So the total number between June training. Yeah, we're in the 1st of May, going back for 24 months. That's 2 years. You go for 2011. You can also have a denominator and your date field. Let's copy paste that. So we're still looking for the start of months. That's the reference. You're looking for the end is the last day of the previous month. So you can just do minus 1 day. That should give you the period intended. Now the calculation you can see is not too complicated. So you can do the whole numerator denominator calculation in one formula, but if you break down the formula, you can do other formula in a single one rather than break out into individual variables. But if you break up, maybe it's easier to handle in the future and for people to maintain the process. As long as it's dynamic enough, it should be fun. The numerator, so that should be in the bottom. Start. So the numerator start is basically just the start amount. Numerate. And so you're looking for the end of the month. So you want to do, I think, date entry. I think that's a one for the month, end of the month for. If the first month, I think there's an end of the month, last of the month. Yeah, but the last of the month is always reference to the current system time. You cannot put a variable in it. So we're gonna repeat the same thing. We're gonna basically do minus 1 day plus one query. So we're gonna wrap the data method twice. It must be a proper quick way. So we're gonna do start a month. We're gonna plus 1 month. Your date field. Then we'll wrap another data and to move 1 day back. Input, code training. Really good. So looking for the months, move ahead. We're gonna minus 1 day back. Give the end of the month. Now the reason for that is we created those additional columns. It makes the calculation for filter easier. For example, uh, if we want to build a workflow, let's just select first row so we can compare the things we have. On the top, we have our data set. So we're looking for anything when you talk about how many that's account is opened. So we can use the denominator. Wait, let me get my logic right. Denominator should be in the bottom. That's how many in total you opened. That's numerator is how many closed. Okay, let me get a pause. Yes, I did master's degree. I still can't remember which way wrong. Mhm. So let's look on top. What we have is the numerator is how many accounts that's closed. For example, in this particular row, in 2013 May, do you have any accounts that's getting closed? So we're going to close. So yes, so these we're going to have the close date. So we're going to compare that for the numerator, the top one. The denominator, we're looking for any account that's opened between 2021, 2011 and 2013. So we check the condition for that. Then we have the number. We can do the calculation we want. Let's apply a filter to our dates. So the idea is we want to, yeah, because we're going to do a batch macro later. So basically, it's kind of like a panda dates. May not be the most efficient, but so probably deselect some column. We don't care the open day. We don't care the end date. We wanted the date field itself. Maybe we can clean the remove the suffix. Dash clean. Why do you have a target in the front? Ah, anyway, then for the source, the join ones, we don't care the start and yeah, it's already going to be batched, so it should be fine. Probably keep it start. The rest of the file, denominator starts, numerator. Okay, good. So we have our original input date, then we have a bunch of conditions to test how many things we have. The best way to do, I guess, is we can just use a regular filter. Let's go the lazy way. Let's just drag two filters. So we can give a note. So you're gonna have the numerator on top. Let's just call it numerator. DOR, the one important denominator. 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 Okay. So for the numerator, with the formula, we're trying to compare for the numerator as the closing one. So we're looking for any that dates happens between the numerator start and end. So we're looking for our close date. should be less equal than end. Uh, let's create equals start, numerator start, and close date to be less equals numerator end. So that's what I mean previously. You can do all the calculation in single formula. So without using the formula tool here to create those things. Maybe people want to do it, or maybe you want to break things apart to make it more maintainable, easy to understand. The denominator, same thing. We're gonna do our opening day instead. So we're looking for our opening happened after the denominator start date and our open date less equals denominator end. So we can see for the first row, we do have a single field which is closing day. Okay, that's what we expect. We have one account that's closed between the months. Then the bottom part, the two, we're looking for 2 years back. There's two accounts that's opened during those 2 years period. So for the May month, we expect two accounts that's open and one account that's closed. You can do group by account another way. There's a count records a macro. I just can see how many things you have. So literally just counting how many rows in the data set. We have those guys. We can probably just append the fields together. Let's give a name. So the top is the numerator. Numerator is how many accounts that's closed. Denominator is how many accounts that's open. So we should get 2 and 1. This should be fine as the out batch magical output and the sense for the rest. I can personally, I probably want to just keep the full percentage calculation outside the macro. It's probably easier to do. Okay, that's good. We have this thing ready. Then we can start to think how we can implement this thing as a batch macro rather than a regular workflow. So the thing to batch on, it basically is a group Python. We're going to batch on the start of the month. We can create a new field, sorry, new workflow. We can use control parameter that defines what's a batch macro. So that's the one you input as the group by. With default is fine. We don't worry about the names. If you look on the configuration pane in the workflow, as soon as you drag in the control parameter, by default, it just switch everything to batch. You can't even switch to other macros. It's blanked out. So for us, we're going to decide what's our input. Now for us, input, probably this. So the top is your regular input. Do we need to keep things clean, neat? Yeah, let's just do a select to make a bit, just clean up the field a bit. We look at open data. That's the stream field. Look at record ID. It's probably a good idea to keep. It's fine to keep a record ID. It's not causing any issues. In the denominator, let's just do a select as well. So we're gonna select get rid of those guys. Numerator start, numerator end. Those should be fine. How many stuff you want to add into the macro? It's up to you. You go either way. Depends how you, at which step you want to do your basic transformation of data. Since we did a calculation outside, we may well just use outside. So I'll copy everything here. Right click, copy all records with header. Go to the macro workflow. We're gonna copy paste it in as text input. For this thing, we're gonna change as macro input because that's your data set. So let's call that's your data. Let's call that give anchor D. The control parameter will come. Yeah, sorry, that was I said previous also. We'll probably need this guy because the control parameter goes in as a single field. So maybe we want the start amongst the field that to go in there. So let's say probably drop this guy, but we don't need this select. So everything here, let's put a container. So this is the field I want to be able to handle inside the macro field. Yeah. On the top, the data goes in fine. In the bottom, we need some field to come in. For us, a regular text input is fine. We can select single cell with header. We don't actually need the whole row. And then that connect to the bottom side. Let's just run the workflow to see everything still behave as we intended. We don't need a sample. We're going to do the batch. So let's delete connect. So we have start amounts for period calculated. On the top, we're gonna handle the filter for the numerator. On the bottom, two outcomes. We have an answer. Then let's just drag a macro output. Complete the workflow. The container is not essential. We don't need to worry about it. So you can see the input, output, that's a way change. The main workflow itself should have been built. We don't need to do additional steps. Let's just run those bit. Okay, so control parameter, what we're gonna play. Control parameter is when you select the input field. The date, the input field will be the start month. So we can use that, drag onto our text input. We'll try to replace the field in the text input. Let me remove this a bit. Probably a bit better way of looking at it. Because we have only single field, 1, so we don't actually need to worry too much about it. Otherwise, you may want to use, say, some kind of formula field, some kind of data. Yeah, you want to replace the string, some kind of conditions. For us, 1 should be fine. Every time the control parameter runs, that updates that one single date. The update the starting date, and the rest workflow will change correspondingly. For this thing, we can save it as a macro. I need to go to my macro folder actually. Alteryx macro. So, sorry, not open, save. Save as browse. Yeah, so go to my default. So this account, challenge number 17. Yeah, challenge number 17. Challenge number 17. Let's call it macro. Once it's saved, we can start to add this macro inside our regular workflow. Uh, there. So the workflow, everything is handled. We can close this container. We don't need it. Let's just the macro do the job. So we're going to insert macro 17. D should be the data field. If we zoom in a bit, we can see for the macro control parameter, we have an inverted question mark. So what a variable that need to be grouped by, we drag in. So there's some additional group by because you may have batch. The moment we have only data, you may have company A's data, company B's data, etc. Company A, department A. You have few options. First, we have a very simple macro. That's why we don't need to worry too much of the group by. Control parameter, the column we want feeding, it's the months we want feeding. Now, actually, let's run this in first. We'll see. If you run it, you click on the output anchor. You can see we have a 2469 that we have. No, 2469, that's not what we wanted. We're looking for 1121. 1121. So we need to redo the mask for the open. They do want start of months in the dataset, so let's keep those columns. Yeah, if they want to start a month in the column, so rather than use record ID, let me just select probably summarize instead. Open date, start date, numerator. What's all my field? So for the input, we have a start month. So we do want to start month because we want to keep track of that. Configure cleaning, open the start date. So in this case, we should have start month. We can do group by. We can just use count of record ID to have our dates field. Start month record ID, that should be fine. Let's draw. So you should, I think for May, the thing is good. We just need to check for other months. We have a start month, we can use a join rather than a append. Oops, let's change. Screening, we can join on the start month, so we don't need to repeat the columns. Previous count records is still valid option. Ooh. We can join on the start month. We don't need that. The left count is from the numerator. The numerator should be how many accounts that's opened. Open. The right should be the denominator. Denominator is how many accounts. Sorry, denominator is how many opened. Numerator is how many accounts that's closed. Anchor output should be the inner join. Um, we shouldn't have any data from other anchors because everything here goes for a single month. That's fine. We still have our months. Then let's actually check for a different month. If we say replace from 5 we have 1 4, so the ratio is 1 to 4. Here 4 accounts have been opened. Let's check the mass here. So how many accounts that's opened? That's to do with the denominator. We expect 4 rows. What do you expect for June? In advance for the June, we should expect 3 accounts that's opened. Okay, where's the additional accounts coming? So if I may, this is open. 0324. So we do have a four open close. Are they counting the close date? Da, 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 da. Okay. I think I'll also need to compensate for the closed date. The account, that's weird. Let me just check one more. So for '07, we should have 4-2 combination. That's using about the control parameter. We use the positional first row, first column. So we don't actually need to worry any about particular setting change. So it should be 2-4 combination for June. Should make a number. So it's a 2-4 combination. For 2 should be fun. The numerator is how many accounts that's closed. Those closed in the month of July. Then the 6. So we're looking for 4. I think it seems like they don't actually count the account that's closed within, so they do not count things separately. We have a record number 1, record number 4. Indeed, they opened is in the period we are checking against, but they are closed. Oh, are they closed? Yeah, they opened the account during the period, but they also closed account in that period. So they do not contribute to the total accounts that's opened. Maybe that's the logic. Let's check the last month for the August. August, we should expect a 5-1 combination. And that's the benefit of Alteryx. You can just change one location, everything else you can keep track at each individual step. What's the issue? So for this thing, it's a 5-1 combination. We looking for June, so everything match up. Let's probably just sort this by close date. Those four are fine. We're looking for those guys. Yeah. So even though we have 9 rows of data, any accounts that's close within the period of consideration is not counted. Okay. That just means we need to add in additional filter. Is that stated in the question itself? The net, it's almost like the net closed account. Month over month denominator calculation accounts for 20 months prior to the start of month. Yes, for example, denominator will be total number of accounts open. It will be the total number of accounts closed. The numerator, the numerator should be on top. Interesting. They probably should mention a bit more specific in the questions. So to tailor their logic, we need one more condition and the close date. So your open date is within the period of interest, and your close date should be greater than the denominator end. We want to make sure you closed outside the period of consideration. Let's try. The, oop. Why it's only going to one? Later on. So open date is when the month, and your close date. For me, I'm considering I need all state. Yes, the null value because null value is not considered. Either you close outside the period considered, or yet the account hasn't closed yet. So, or the close date is now. That's the missing four rows. So one account says closed outside the range, then the four accounts that hasn't been touched yet. Okay, so that should correct correct the condition of it. Let's see the workflow updated. That's fine. Run workflow. When you play a batch macro, I think the thing's updated now. In the past, you actually need to put a browse on it. If you don't put browse, it does not update. I guess the 2023 or some of the version updated. So we have 1121, 2345, 2345, 1121. Then we can do the calculation. Sure. Formula. We're gonna do. So we're looking for is how many close? We need a new column percentage. So it's close divided by open. That was fun. Do you want the decimals? I think it's the decimals. Yeah, decimals. That's fine for percentage. So final row. We got the work done. Hopefully you can see this thing try to be dynamic enough. We're gonna delete this container. We don't need it anymore. If you have any other dates set coming, you have a longer period, that's fine. You just need to change in the single start and value. Everything else should preserve as it is. And yeah, and that is good. Thanks for watching.